Hello everybody, and welcome to another video on my YouTube channel. This is a revised, yes it's a revised because I felt like when I did that video with using, the background of WWE 2K19, I feel like I kind of jumbled around, um, you know, and it felt like, unorganized and yada yada yada, so I was like, I'll just revise it, show you real examples within my show that I've been creating: Friday Fight Fest, Monday Madness, Fight Fest Madness Wrestling, um, with 85 custom superstars, and just showing you the features and everything that I would want fixed within the next game of WWE 2K22 or the AEW game, to my opinion, because it's what's happening within my custom superstar uh, show, and everything else. Next, popularity needs to be involved again. It has great value, especially with the up up down down channel with the Battle of the Brands, Tyler Breeze, Austin Creed. Having that, knowing who has the best popularity, what will push your show to get more fans, and everything else really would help your show whatsoever. And especially with this happening right here, it's like the only way they go up in the rankings is if they either have a title or they're in a rivalry and it ends up being very high or just like, because it goes from low, medium, high, and very high. So it's like if they're in like a high to a very high, I feel like it'll go up depending on like an angle of popularity of these people, being the top part of the show. Obviously, they'll go more up in the rankings. So that's what it feels like. It's either you got a championship belt, you'll go up in the rankings if you win some matches, or if you're in a very high intensity rivalry. And that just, it kind of gets annoying because then when you're trying to make angles of people trying to get titles and stuff like that, they're not going up in the rankings how you want it to. They're either going up or they're going down. Maybe stay the same, but it's like, you want them to go up, but it's like, how do you make them go up? Oh, wait, you have to put them in a rivalry in order to make them like relevant to go up in the rankings. Next, I feel like for rivalry spots, if you're having like seven, matches per show, which is what I have, I feel like to add one more slot or two, because when it comes to my Monday show, I have cruiserweights. I have, the non cruiserweights men, like the bigger guys, the main eventers. I'm not saying that cruiserweights can't be a main eventer, but like overall, like your top guys, so to speak, within the show. And then you got the women that you see there, and then you got tag team as a division. So within that, I feel like there would need to be four because, say, in slot one, I have a cruiserweight rivalry going, whether it be singles or it could be a tag team, but just overall, we're saying as a singles for the example. And then, I keep that rivalry for the women that is in the middle. And then number three is a singles, for, maybe the Madness title, the Monday Madness, or the Monday Madness for Monday. Those guys would be in slot three, and then slot four would be like a tag team, so to speak, rivalry going on, or maybe just an extra rivalry because I have seven matches. So if it takes four out of the seven, then my show is kind of complete. I would just have to, know where the four spots, whether it be a match, whether it be a promo, just need to know where those are, and then just overall, then my show would be mostly booked and fill in the spots to what I feel like should be needed. Next is rivalry show slots to max intensity. So as you saw in slide before, it's very high. Why is the very high intensity rivalry in the number one first match slot. It should be towards the main event, whether it be the semifinal or the main event. Like, it shouldn't be the first match of the show. I get it, it's computerized and everything, but it shouldn't be that. It should be towards the end of the show because people would be more intrigued to watch a very high main event towards the end of the show instead of right in the beginning. To my knowledge, because it's like, okay, we watched the very high rivalry and everything else, and they feel like everything else is poopy, so they're not gonna, say theoretically, if this happened in real life, especially with WWE, they had a very high rivalry be like the first match, and then kind of crappy whatever gimmick matches after that. No one's gonna want stay and watch the show for the rest of the time. They're gonna wanna, stay tuned. Obviously see maybe some of the gimmick matches, and then when it comes to the main event being a very high rivalry, they're gonna want to either come back or stay throughout the whole entire show to the end and watch how the rivalry at the end happens. So it's just overall like that's what it should be. And also, when it comes to promos and callouts with these rivalries and everything, they shouldn't take over the match slot because sometimes what I did do was I planned 2 to 3 weeks in advance. It was more likely two, but I planned 2 weeks in advance. But then when I attached a rivalry, I really can't plan 2 or 3 weeks in advance because eventually, uh, say if Minnie was calling out Karen, it would have like Minnie in the middle of a call out, and it would have it at the first match slot, and it'll say promo, and then I would only have 6 matches to work with. Because of that rivalry, it took out the seventh match for that call out or self promo, so I couldn't use that slot at all for a match, which kind of sucks. Next, the settings to be to put effect on custom superstars as well. I've been through 34, 36, total overall episodes with 36, with 34 episodes and 2 pay-per-views. There hasn't been an injury, which doesn't seem realistic. Like, I would be expecting to have maybe one or two and then see like how long it would take for them to recover, but maybe if it's because it's a custom superstar that they don't get these injuries, which I feel like that's hard to believe because they should be able to get injuries. It's realistic. Like, especially I've been putting them through tables matches, steel cage, TLC, Extreme Rules, Backstage Brawl, and everything else. Like, it shouldn't be that no injury throughout the whole entire time. And especially, like, I could probably book them 7 matches out of the 7 matches within the show and they wouldn't get injured. Like, that's just. No, that's unrealistic. There should be at some point be, an injury, if you know what I mean. Like, I'm not trying to say, oh, hey, make it so that like everyone's easy to injure. No, I'm just saying, kind of make it realistic when it comes to custom superstars. Because, like, say they wrestle 3 weeks in a row or 3 to 6 weeks in a row, and then it's like eventually, on the 5th week, because they've gone through gruesome matches, whether it be a tables match, whether it be a ladder match, whether it be a steel cage match, that eventually their body broke down, and they might have, injured their arm or injured their back or something to their leg. It has to be some type of injury to be out for, short distance or long distance, depending on the injury, to the custom superstars. Because otherwise, it's just unrealistic that I could put someone in 7 matches out of the 7 and not have any effect besides going to the backstage, coming back out, and be, fully like their health is perfectly fine. You bring the titles to the promo. That's like the number one thing that's kind of, mind boggling because when Christopher General, and many she still has it, but when Christopher General had the title and calling out somebody, he didn't even have the title on him. Like they don't have the title on them. So it's like they should have the title on them at all times, whether it be going to a singles match without, a title defense or, going out to a promo. Next is bringing multiple belts when they have them to their matches or promos. Because Ryan Malta right now, he has the Beast of Hardcore and the Fight Fest Madness Championship belt right now. Like he should be bringing both of them because the last, if it was like one episode like back from each show that he had to defend his title, defend each title singly, and he would bring one or the other when it came to that title defense. Like he should be bringing both of them if he's absolutely won and kept them. But it's like he should be bringing both of them. Features to bring back: GM mode. Like I said before, with the up, up, down, down, Austin Creed and Tyler Breeze, with that rivalry of, making the best show, using popularity, money control, and everything, is, a big factor. And especially, I wish I would have had that chance because I think, like, the last game that it was in, was 2008. I had the Wii version of that game, and the Wii version didn't have GM mode. It had like superstar mode, and then you would be like the Undertaker and do like some crazy with the Undertaker, and that would be it. Like there was no GM mode whatsoever. It'd be quick play or like a My Career type thing, and then it brings back strategy to the game. Everyone's been waiting for it, and you can love creating your own show with the help of gaining fans and popularity with ratings per match, because that is what I would like to have back is ratings. It kind of sucks when it's like you don't have any ratings and then I can't tell whether if I'm doing pretty good with booking or not. It's just, up in the air. And then plus money control that you can control who you're paying for how long, and then obviously with the steel cage and tables matches whatnot are extra money, so you have to be careful with that before you run out, because then you could lose superstars that walk out because you don't have the money for them. So it would just be overall good to bring back. A feature in the future. This is something that I would that like kind of like Madden, how you have the owner mode in Madden, where you can control the ticket prices, you can control the concessions, you can control the souvenir prices, the parking prices, and just like be like obviously the coach mode, but you have more to work with as an owner where you control the prices and everything. And I feel like that would be kind of fun thing in the future for WWE, but this may not even happen. Like that's just like some way down the line probably if it were to happen. But I feel like overall this wouldn't happen at all. It's where you are like a Vince McMahon or a Tony Khan. You be an owner. You try and find talent, and you kind of like BCW and WWE 2K19, where you maybe at like a small center, not necessarily a school, but like kind of like a village hall type small building at like some cities or whatnot, and depending on how many people come, with the ticket prices gains you a bit of money, and especially paying the wrestlers, and you would eventually work your way up to becoming a big promotion, that you would control the promotion and put superstars where they would go, and money operations for the arenas and everything else. It's kind of like the start of AEW, how they had to figure everything out, because eventually they were saying that they didn't want to go in big arenas just in case if they weren't going to sell out, because they didn't want to get in that struggle right away. But then eventually, like they got into decent venues, and people and they were selling out, or the amount of tickets that they were selling were, you know, going pretty well and everything, and so it would just be, a good, fun thing to add to wrestling overall, whether it be in the AEW game or in WWE. And what I like about WWE 2K19, custom wrestlers can be in the universe mode, which is phenomenal. You can create everything for the show: belts, arena, location, etc. There was the showcase with Daniel Bryan, and then 2K20 that I know is Roman Reigns and Becky Lynch. And also, if anything that I'm saying has been fixed or they've implemented in WWE 2K20, feel free to link it down or commented down below, because I don't have the game personally. That I was kind of waiting until they made, W2K21 to see if I would get that game. But obviously, with the pandemic, they decided to cancel that, and they were coming back with WWE 2K22 and see what kind of features and everything they're gonna make out of that game, and hopefully it would be fun. But like all these other stuff that I've been, talking about is kind of like stuff that I dislike, especially with the universe mode of not bringing the belts to the promos, not bringing double belts down the, entrance and everything. And just overall, it's just, you know, something that would need to be fixed on what I don't like about the game. And it's basically a restating of what I'm kind of basically saying. The settings for injuries don't work for the custom superstars, no ratings or popularity for the matches, and it seems like you must have a rivalry or have a championship belt to move up in the rankings, which kind of get, you know, uh, frustrating at times, especially like when you want somebody to move up in the rankings overall, but it's like they don't have a belt and they're not in a rivalry, and they keep winning matches, like say 3 to 4 matches, even 5. They're still not moving up, and they could be moving down instead. So it's just overall not a good thing overall for me. Like when I try to say, oh, this will work, this might work, this might work, and it just doesn't work. Like after, obviously the first week of it happening, I'll be like, I'll simmer down and be like, it might work if they win like 2 to 3 matches, but then it's like showing that they're going down in rankings and they've won like 2 to 3 matches or even 4. And it's like, what? You're moving down in the rankings? You should be moving up, especially you're wrestling someone that's like a ranking higher, and it's like they're going up but you're going down. It's like, what? And hopefully you enjoyed the presentation in this episode. Feel free to hit that subscribe button, and peace out.